So banking in Dubai is something that a lot of people want, and a lot of people want to be good, because when you open a company here to pay 0% in tax, you obviously want to have good banking. You want to have good access to international transfers, local transfers, cash deposits, and you want to have good access to payment processors. Since you're running a business here, you want it to be flawless, or you want it to be smooth. So in today's video, I'm going to be going over Dubai banks. I'm going to go over the ones I like personally, and I'll tell you the pros and the cons between all of these banks. And then at the end of the video, you can make your own decision and get started with any one of these banks. If you don't know me already, my name is Kevin. I'm one of the partners here at GenZone. We help people move to Dubai. We are professionals and experts at setting up businesses here in Dubai, whether it's a free zone company, a mainland company, offshore company. We can take care of it from start to finish. And if you're looking for a group of people who know how to do it properly, know how to do it quickly and transparently, and won't kill you in pricing, then book a call with us down below. So one of my friends was telling me the other day that, oh, Dubai banks aren't good. And I honestly don't know why people think that. Maybe they weren't good before when they were gray listed. For example, if you don't know already, Dubai has been removed from the gray list. Here is some news about it. This has allowed us to send and receive international wires without so many headaches. And I'm going to say that I've been very fortunate. I've never experienced any issues with wires from my Dubai company. But for some reason, people still think that Dubai banks are not good. I honestly don't understand why. I can receive payments from the US. I can receive payments from Canada. I can receive payments from Europe. I can receive payments from Africa, Asia. I've gotten payments from every single continent without any problem. North America, South America, Europe, it doesn't matter, no problem. I don't know, maybe it was worse before and now there's like some kind of stereotype, but Dubai banking is amazing. And not only is it amazing, it's really easy to get access to. I mean, all you need to do is get residency here, and then just like that, you can open a bank account. Now, a lot of people think that the banks here aren't good, they're not user-friendly, but that's totally not the case. A lot of the banks are very good. Some of them might be a little bit more dated in terms of the actual interface, the UI itself. But I mean, generally, they're pretty good. You have Rack Bank, Emirates NBD, Fab Bank, Weo Bank, which is the newest one, and they're all awesome in my opinion. Now, this is not an issue that I face because I do spend a lot of time in Dubai, but sometimes if you want to do anything with your bank, you might need to actually appear in person and sign documents in person. Of course, there's always workarounds to things like these, but there's only so many workarounds you can have. So for example, if you needed to update a document on your company bank account, or you wanted to add something, you might need to appear in person. It's not always like that. It depends on the banker, it depends on the bank, but you might need to appear in person, which would be a little problem for some people who might not actually live here. Obviously, not everyone who has a bank account in Dubai lives here. A lot of people set up their company here years ago to benefit from the 0% corporate tax, and they never even planned on living here. They would live in another country. And because of that, now if they have to make any changes, well, they have to appear here in person. But honestly, this is very, very rare. In the last 2 years, I only had to appear to the bank once in person, and that's because I made a change to our company license. I added an activity onto our company license. But other than that, it was pretty straightforward. I mean, you don't have to do anything. You can handle everything from abroad. You can handle all of the security stuff from abroad. So OTP codes, you can get a local phone card here, a SIM card, and you can use that from abroad, no problem. You'll get OTPs to your email. You can do that from abroad. Everything can usually be done digitally. Now, another stigma that a lot of people think about Dubai banks is that you have to have a large deposit. Now, it might be the case for certain banks, and certain banks might want you to have a large deposit, but that's not always the case. For example, with Rack Bank, you don't need to. With Weo Bank, you don't need to. Emirates NBD usually wants you to have a large deposit. A lot of people know the number. It's around 500,000 AED. But like anything, there's workarounds to this, and this deposit might not be what stays in the account long term. It could just be an initial deposit. But I mean, if you just want to get started with banks here, just get Weo Bank. I have a video. You can go and check it out down in the description down below, where I show you guys step by step on how to open up your Weo Bank account. I will say that I need to update that video because there's been a lot of changes. Weo Bank likes to add a lot of different questions, but I mean, it's pretty straightforward overall, but it's really important to watch out for certain questions. So if you want to help you with your Weo Bank application, then feel free to shoot us an email. Of course, this is a paid service. If you just want the free video, then just go watch the free video where we go step by step over what you need to do. But I mean, Weo itself is the only bank you might even need to get started. So for example, let's say you have a very simple business that doesn't require anything special like letters of credit. You don't really need any other bank. Weo is good enough. Now, a lot lot of people think, oh, but WEO is a digital bank. Okay, it doesn't really matter. First of all, it's a digital bank, but it's a real bank. It's not like Wise. Like, these companies are not banks. They're just financial companies. I don't even call them banks. So that's one thing about WEO. It's an actual bank. It's owned by First Abu Dhabi Bank, and it's owned by the government. So very secure. Now, the next thing that I want to mention too is that WEO, you can actually go and deposit and withdraw cash in person. So it's not 100% digital. You can still use First Abu Dhabi Bank, extensions to go ahead and deposit cash and withdraw cash. And of course, you can withdraw cash from any ATM around the world. Does not have to be a First Abu Dhabi Bank ATM. It could be literally any ATM. Now, one thing that I don't like about Dubai banks is that they're not insured. Your funds are not insured. But even in the West, right, you're not fully insured. You're only insured up to like 200K. Of course, there's a lot of money, but number one, will you even get that insurance claim? Number two, it's only 200,000, right? So it's not that much money. Of course, if you're watching this video, it might be a lot for you, maybe not. The thing is, yes, they're not insured here. However, the banks here are not over leveraged like they are in the West. Okay, if you want to get a credit card, most likely you have to collateralize that credit card. It's not like in the West where you get a credit card and the bank just hopes you pay it back. Here, you have to collateralize it in most cases. For example, my credit card, right? Let's say I put a deposit of 10,000 dirhams. I have more, but let's say 10,000 dirhams to make it simple. They will give me 90% credit on that deposit. So for example, 10,000, 90% of that is 9,000. Meaning that I have $9,000 or dirhams, worth of credit on my credit card. Like, that's my credit limit. So if I didn't pay that off, well, the bank could say, okay, well, thanks for your deposit. We're going to keep that, right? So there's a large margin of safety for these banks because they're not overly financed like in the West, right? So that's one thing that I would say. Same thing for mortgages. If you want to get a property here, if you're an expat or if you're a new investor here, well, you're not going to get 80, 90, 95 or even 100% mortgages like you can in the West. So there's a big gap of security there, since you most likely have to put 50, 60% down, meaning that the rest of the property is, yes, financed, but you already put so much down. So if you couldn't make your payments, well, the bank is safe knowing that they have all this money already in equity on that property in their bank. And of course, they're already making money by loaning it out to other people. Now, one thing that people actually don't know, and this is something I love about Dubai banks, they have so many different currency pairs: USD, AED, GBP, Euro, and you can even get way more. Of course, these are the major ones, but you can get every currency pair and you can hold the currency in that pair as well if you don't want to have an FX rate. So that's good. Also, with a bank like WEO Bank, in a personal bank, if you wanted to swap from AED, which is the dirham, to USD, there's no forex fee. It's awesome. So it's free to swap, essentially. So that's something I really love about those banks. Compared to the West, of course, you'll have to pay a big fee if you wanted to swap. Obviously, what I'm saying is not the same for every currency pair, and maybe in the future, this is not going to be the case anymore, but there's really good options here, and we have a lot of flexibilities with our banks. I can easily send money to people in large amounts. If I wanted to wire transfer someone locally here, 100,000 dirhams, I can easily do that. There's no problem. In the West, that would be a huge problem. I would have to go to the bank. They'll question me. Why am I doing this? Who is this going to? Is there an invoice? Blah, 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 blah. Just, problems overall. Same thing for withdrawing money as well, right? You feel like a criminal in the West when you're withdrawing or depositing money. I literally went to the bank to deposit, I think, 10,000 Canadian dollars, which might be 7,000 US dollars. And I felt like I was literally like shaking. This was a long time ago. I was a lot younger, maybe like 18. And I was literally shaking because I was scared. I was scared that they thought I was like a criminal or something. Like, this is not normal. You're just depositing money. If you want to take out money, it's your money. Take it out. There shouldn't be any questions. And that's something I love about the banking system here. Now, one more thing to mention about the fact that these banks aren't insured. Okay, they're not insured, but they're backed by the government, or they're backed by another bank, okay, which is backed by the government. So that's something about the banks here. They might not be insured, but they are extremely safe. I'd rather have my money here than a bank in the US where they can literally collapse. So overall, I think that all the banks in Dubai are good. If I could tell you from my personal experience, because obviously I haven't experienced every single bank, but from my personal experience, for business banking, WEO is fantastic. For business banking, RAK Bank is very good. And for business banking, First Abu Dhabi is also good. For personal, WEO is good. Emirates NBD is good. Those are the ones that I've experienced. Honestly, they're basically all the same at the end of the day. If you're getting a loan or something or a mortgage, you have to keep in mind that if you're new in the country, you might need some history, credit history. If you want to get a mortgage and you're a business owner, you might have to have a company for 2 years before you can get your mortgage. So there's a lot of little things to think about. But overall, banks here are fantastic. I don't have any problem with them whatsoever. You can connect to Stripe, PayPal, use all these payment processors and not have a problem. One thing that I don't like actually is that we cannot receive payments through payment processors to Amex. Amex does not work here. So that's one thing. If that's a big deal for you, then you can simply open a US LLC or a UK LTD, whatever you want, and then, process those payments from there. But you shouldn't have an issue It's pretty rare that people can only pay in Amex. So if you want to set up a business in Dubai and you want a bank account here in Dubai and you want to pay 0% tax in Dubai, or you just want to get set up here, then watch this video right here where we go over exactly what you need to know. And if you're already ready and you want to get started right now, book a call with the link down below.